What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. Hey, let's go ahead and check out this video from what I would call a real man of genius. This genius has a lot to say about J.R.R. Tolkien and the Rings of Power, Lords of the Rings, and how things should be done these days, and why we should pay no attention whatsoever to the writings of J.R.R. Tolkien. Yes, he absolutely says that. Let's go ahead and hit play, and I'll make some comments along the way with this video.
There's been a whole lot of discourse about how the new Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power series doesn't exactly live up to the expectations and what Tolkien had in his mind. And I say good, because I don't know about you guys, but I really don't want the worldview of someone who was born in the late 1800s to be what dictates what I watch on TV in the year of our Lord 2022.
Let's stop right there. So what this guy basically is saying is that he doesn't want to, go back in the past and learn from the previous writers of history. He doesn't want that to any way influence his entertainment. He wants to be entertained by the sensibilities of the day. Okay. The problem with that line of thinking is that the people that lived 100 years ago and more, they had their own worldview of the life and the history of that time. And it absolutely gives us a roadmap for human beings in all areas. It's like, the writings of different people from different points of view of the world. It's important to have that information, especially when you have really talented writers. Like a lot of talented writers came out of that particular era. We're talking about Ernest Hemingway. We're talking about John Steinbeck, F. Scott Fitzgerald, William Faulkner, lots and lots of big name, very important writers right alongside J.R.R. Tolkien, who may be the greatest of them all. And, this guy, like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to learn anything from that. I don't want any of that stuff creeping into my entertainment. I keep this sign up on my desk. I'm gonna hold it up for you guys to see it. So a lot of you guys may have heard this phrase: hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times. Okay. And, a lot of you guys might figure, like, well, where are we at on this little list? Well, I think we've kind of like entered into this particular realm right here. Good times that we've been living in have been creating a lot of weak men, exhibit A for this guy right here. And this meathead doesn't understand how to learn from your history, right? How to take something from your history, let it trickle into your entertainment. That's always a good way sometimes to get information. Nothing wrong with that. But to just kind of dismiss, the conversation of those days and just, kind of wipe that off the face of the map and just say, nah, we don't need to learn anything about that. I don't want that in my entertainment, because these guys, well, I'll let him explain it, but it's these kind of people that have led us there. Some of y'all might say, hey, maybe we're actually in this time right here, because we got this kind of, these kind of dudes creating a whole lot of problems in these particular days. So maybe that's where we are. But yeah, let's go ahead and let this person continue.
When you do adaptations of people's worlds, that's what they are there for. Adaptations. You fill in the holes and racist bigotry that they had when they wrote this stuff in the 1950s.
So Tolkien was a bigot then, huh? That's what he's saying, basically. Tolkien was a bigot, right? We're gonna do character assassinations for a man that he's never met and he doesn't know, probably doesn't know anything about Tolkien, who publicly denounced fascism, That's who he's saying, oh yeah, this guy is a bigot. He wrote during a time of bigotry, so he must be a bigot. You see what I'm saying when I'm talking about just the superficiality of these arguments? It's just functionally illogical. They don't make any sense. They just throw stuff up against the wall to see what sticks. That's what this guy is doing.
I mean, Tolkien was working on these books at a time when black people weren't allowed in the same establishments as white people in the United States because of segregation.
So what does that have to do? What does one have to do with the other? Like, seriously, like, what does one have to do with the other? What does the fact that he was working on his book at a time where segregation existed in an entirely different country have to do with Lord of the Rings and how he was writing it? I mean, it's just like the superficial, like, level of thinking here. And it sounds like a college student. He sounds like a stupid college student. It's like somebody I always got to warn my kids about. Hey, don't listen to these people, okay? These people are not smart. They sound smart, okay? They talk fast. They sound like intelligent. No, they're not intelligent at all, okay? You just heard the stupid point that this guy tried to make. He tried to somehow say, because racism existed in another part of the world, that somehow influences this guy. Racism exists right now, today, in this country, as we speak. Are you saying that all of the writers that are coming up out of this particular era in history are racist because they're writing at a time where there's racism in this country? It's like, come on, man. We're clearly here. You are here, folks. You are here.
And I don't want society to go back to then, and I sure as hell don't want our creative output to go back to the ideas of that time.
So wait, let me get this straight. If somebody makes a faithful adaptation of Tolkien, that automatically means that we're going to be taking our entertainment and our society back to the times of segregation. Did, like, segregation come back after Peter Jackson made his trilogy? I don't recall that. Does anybody remember if segregation suddenly saw, hey, segregation's coming back? Do we remember? Did that happen? Am I missing something? Did I sleep through that? Okay, I don't recall that. All right, you got to listen to the idiots too. I know it's painful, people, but you got to listen to idiots because you got to know, hey, these people vote. Okay. And you got to know what you're up against, okay? You got to know where the world is, you know, turning and which twists and turns are coming down the way so you can make your adjustments. You got to know what's going on out there. So, yeah, this guy, whoa, talk about a piece of work.
I mean, hell, Tolkien taught at Oxford University, a place that is so blatantly racist that R.F. Kong had to write an entire book about it. Go check out that.
Again, because Tolkien taught at Oxford, that automatically means that, yeah, he must be a racist bigot because I don't even know if Oxford was a racist place or not. I don't really know or care. It doesn't even matter. He's painting with this giant broad brush saying, well, because Tolkien lived at this particular time in history, you know, and he wrote books at this particular time in history and he worked at this particular college, he must be a racist. Look, this guy is a college student, all right? He looks like a college student, looks young enough to be one anyway. And he probably, you know, went to a college, you know, stayed on campus the entire time, you know, never left campus, you know, probably spent 100% of his time in a bubble, okay? You know, and he only dealt with professors and he only dealt with his other fellow students and people who are all learning from those same professors. That's why college is really a trip. It's an indoctrination camp, and you can hear it. Like, this guy probably has conservative parents and he's coming in here talking his mess. Like, all he knows about life is what his professors taught him, what his classmates talk about, the books that he's reading from the professors who are indoctrinating him, you know, and whatever CNN and MSNBC have taught him. That's all he knows about life, okay? This guy clearly hasn't lived anything because he's just making some of the worst arguments that I've ever heard from anybody, period, in life. You know, it's just absolutely astonishing.
So fuck what Tolkien would have wanted or what he thought of the Lord of the Rings and Middle Earth. It's ours now. We're making it. We're going to make it reflect real life, not his white power fantasy that he wrote about.
Wow, man, that's absolutely just amazing. And again, you heard what he said, you know, F Tolkien. F what he wanted, F what he was talking about. We're not doing that. We're going to do our own thing, okay? You heard him out of his own mouth, okay? And these are the guys that Amazon is trying to appeal to. They want to appeal to this guy. That's why they made the show that they did. This guy has never been a fan of Tolkien, right? You heard him, F Tolkien. He doesn't care about Tolkien. He doesn't care. The fans that care, you and I that care about this stuff, he doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about the people that made Lord of the Rings what it is, okay? And Amazon and all of these big media companies, because, I mean, face it, folks, he's really talking about all franchises. All franchises. He's talking about Marvel. He's talking about DC. He's talking about Star Wars. He's talking about Star Trek, okay? He's talking about every franchise that you grew up with and loved. He's talking about all of them, okay? It's ours now, okay? You know, you heard him. That's what he said. It's ours now. Same thing that Sophia chick said. This belongs to us now. We're going to do what we want to do. We're going to write it the way we want to write it. This ain't about you no more. This ain't about the fans of Tolkien. We have purchased your franchise, okay? It's in our grasp now. So we're going to do whatever we want to do with it. That's the bottom line. So keep that in mind every time you guys are trying to be nice to these dudes online. This is what they really think. Don't give them no breaks, and don't give these companies no breaks either. Okay, keep the reviews going, keep hitting them hard, keep hitting them where it hurts. You have my support 100%. But anyway, what do you think about this particular video and this jackass? Go ahead, get down in the comments. You know what to do. And I want to thank you all for watching. See you next time.